Hi everyone, and today's case study is a little bit deep and spiritual. A couple of weeks ago I had a session with a client. It was a healing session, and she came to me because she wanted to know why she was not able to attract and hold on to the right men in her life. And she came knowing that her life is awesome, that she didn't need a man to bring anything to her, which is awesome, I love this. But she also was struggling to attract the right ones, the ones who are actually available, interestingly. But when we looked at it, she had fierce, strong independence. And I'm going to share why she has that in a second. What happens is when we have so much comfort in what we have created in our life and how we live, it makes it difficult for somebody else to come into our life. So we don't really make much space energetically or physically for someone to come in. So we start dating, but the truth is we haven't really got the capacity or desire to let them into our heart, into our mind, into our homes. So creating space is actually a very important part of especially being single. She came to me and explained that she was raised in a very strong European background, and that women had to give up their dreams and desires when they got married, that they're second to the men's needs. Very common. We are still struggling with that in our generation, where it's normal for women to get married and then don't you just want to have a family and be a housewife? Isn't that what you want? Doesn't that make you happy? I will give you everything you need. When in fact, a lot of us have intelligence and desires and dreams that we want to fulfill. When I asked if she'd had any relationships, either in the movies or in real life, where she could use a positive example of what a great relationship means to her, she didn't have any examples. Now, this was a mature woman who traveled the world, seen a lot, and she didn't have any examples apart from one who was an author and wrote a series of books, marriage and relationship, only to in the future get divorced and withdrew all of her publications. So my client had yet another piece of evidence that relationships aren't great. Relationships don't last, that they can ruin what you build up. That was the frame that she was coming with. That's how she saw the world. So when we did her energy session, not surprisingly, there was barriers to protect herself. She didn't want to sacrifice what she had created in her independence, a great life. She didn't want any of that to be damaged or sacrificed when she got involved with someone, even though she wanted to be in a relationship. So when we connected with her higher self, the vision she got was of golden chains, barbed wire actually, that was completely wrapped around her whole body as her defense mechanism. So she wanted to let go of these chains because they were stopping her connecting with people. They were so protective, nobody could get in. But in the session, she didn't want to let go. She felt safe. She said, this feels good. I don't want to break these chains. So what do? Well, we asked for some help, and it was freaking awesome. She brought in Chris Hemsworth to help her break out these chains. It was quite a nice session, I have to say. She got Chris, who obviously is a big guy, to help her break the chains. That wasn't quite enough. So then we brought in Thors Hammer to actually break up the chain of protection and defense that she created for herself. So this is how subconsciously she created such a realm of protection around herself and of course her heart. We were able to break it up and replace it with a beautiful supportive cloak filled with love that people could come in. So her cloak was two-way, and of course she could give out love. So it was a cloak of protection instead of this force field of chains and barbed wire. It was a beautiful session. But she had no idea she had created this for herself at a subconscious, cellular, spiritual level. But this is what we do. We protect ourselves from our fears. Fear of losing our independence, fear of having to sacrifice all of her money because then that becomes the husband's. That's how she was raised all of her life. That's how she viewed marriage. So this is the kind of results we can have when we are courageous enough to see that things aren't quite going right, in this case in the dating realm. And so, okay, what's causing the men to not be able to get through? Why are we attracting the wrong ones? Because we're protecting ourselves. Hope you enjoyed that little story. I will see you again next week with another. Till then, bye bye.